Now, let's talk about the physiological mechanism of dopamine addiction and how it works. Dopamine is a type of neurotransmitter that serves as a chemical messenger between nerve cells in the brain and between the brain and the body. Dopamine is commonly referred to as the feel-good hormone, as it induces a sense of pleasure and drives motivation during pleasurable experiences. These activities that make your brain feel good produce a significant amount of dopamine, leading to a feeling of euphoria and an inclination to seek out more of that experience. Dopamine is a vital component of the brain's reward systems, which evolved to reward behaviors necessary for survival, such as eating, drinking, competing, and reproducing. Now that we know what dopamine is, let's talk about how it is released from the brain. Whenever we do something rewarding, such as eating food, shopping, or exercising, the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, also known as the reward pathway, is activated. This process begins in the ventral tegmental area located in the midbrain. The VTA contains neurons which produce dopamine, and after a pleasurable activity, the VTA is activated, releasing dopamine into the NAC. The nucleus accumbens, also known as the NAC, is the pleasure center of the brain and is located in the basal ganglia. Once the dopamine is released into the NAC, a cascade of chemical reactions is produced, and this ultimately results in feelings of pleasure and motivation. This is why social media is so addicting, as it triggers a significant release of dopamine in the brain, inducing a feeling of elation that drives further consumption. Social media addiction can have similar effects on the brain as drug misuse and addiction. Scrolling through social media platforms triggers a significant release of dopamine, inducing a feeling of pleasure and satisfaction in the user. However, similar to drugs, continued use of social media can raise the threshold for this type of pleasure, causing individuals to spend more and more time on these platforms to achieve the same level of satisfaction. Additionally, excessive social media use can lead to a decrease in the brain's ability to produce dopamine naturally, resulting in emotional lows and negative impacts on mental health when not using social media. It is important to monitor and regulate social media use to avoid addiction and potential negative consequences.
Created using Powtoon.